My name's Tom. I've been 9 months sober from a 5-year addiction to methamphetamine. Uh, I guess I had a pretty good, to me, and I guess to other families, I had a pretty good childhood. Nothing too out of ordinary. Mom was always there for me. Dad was always gone working, so I never really, I guess, had a. Well, I did have a father figure to strive for, but he was just wasn't around that much, I guess. And I was always allowed to. I never got punished, which I know a lot of kids would be really thankful for that. But me knowing life now, I wish I would have because I got away with murder, and I think punishment would have maybe steered me in a better path to where I ended up now. But even having a good childhood, uh, I still had a lot of issues uh, my whole life, and just I mean, I came clean about this since not too long ago in a service. I never mentioned any of this before, but I've been my whole life very suicidal, uh, even at a young age. Uh, I think I was 6 or 8, and outside on rope swing, and I just got the notion to hang myself. I mean, it was a good day. Just I never seen the point of living or life. Nothing ever bad happened in my life. Just I just didn't like life, even at a young age. I hung myself. I still remember the all the feelings of it, the pain. Luckily, my mom was out there with me, and she, lifted me up and pulled the rope out from my head. Uh, and then I guess fast forward, I was in school was school was actually rough. I don't like talking about it. I guess you'd say I was the nerdy loser, not the not smart, the nerdy loser. This stereotypical kid that got made fun of. Really pale skin, really bad buck teeth, bad hackney glasses. I mean, I was just, I hated myself. I mean, I was constantly just remind myself how ugly I was. I just wanted to fit in. Never did. I mean, some groups of kids, but yeah, I actually got teased and bullied a lot. Wasn't, wasn't fun. And that didn't help with my mental uh, stability when I was a teenager. Purposely, I tried taking my life again. Purposely overdosed. I don't know, 20 some Klonopin and a whole pack of sleep medicine. Uh, I realized what I'd done, and I knew that it was going to be it. So, hurry up, ran to my sister, or went to my sister's house and talked to them for a bit. But then, I guess my ex brother in law found me unconscious, half laying out of his truck from where I stayed there. We went to the store and rushed me to the hospital, and I remember them pumping my stomach, and yeah, the doctor said if it was minutes later, I would have been gone. So I mean, and I guess fast forward a little bit more than that. Then I guess everything started turning around for the better. And I went to Baptist Temple Christian school. As I got contacts, acne went away, got my braces off, and people started noticing me for the better. It was really foreign and weird. Life started, finally looking up. But I mean, that was just for a short period of time. Then I started hanging out with people that wanted to hang out with me, and then I started drinking, and that became a problem, especially in school. And then just I wasn't addicted to anything at that time, but if something presented itself, I would do it. Any kind of pills, cocaine, drinking, uh, and I got kicked out of high school, got kicked out of Baptist Temple, so I'm not going to school. Just partying. Really started hitting hard, and I remember I was actually just hung over from a party. I just came back from my house the next day, still hung over, really sick to my stomach, and I seen a commercial about military. And an hour later, I drove up a couple hours away to the next town to the recruiting station and joined the military. uh, and 2 weeks later, well, about 3 weeks from that day, I was in boot camp. I mean, it was very quick. I almost kind of regret it because I didn't know what I was doing at the time. But I really liked it. It was something I was good at. I wish I would have picked a better MOS or job when I got out of the military, but I joined infantry. And there's only really one job requirement, one skill set they teach you in infantry, among other little ones. But and my recruiter said that, oh, the war's over, don't worry about it. You're just gonna go boot camp. Your little 2-year contract, be stationed in states. No, well, after boot camp, again, about 4 weeks after that, I was on my way to Afghanistan. And which it, I enjoyed. It was a good experience. The camaraderie we had with your battle buddies, and just really being able to trust people. That was probably the best part. But I mean, it did. Yeah, yeah. It hardened my heart be, being over there and seeing and doing things that you know. Yeah. Sorry, but yeah. Then got back from that, and my whole family and everyone that knew me, they could tell that I wasn't the same person when I got back. Uh, I got out of the military. Contract was up shortly after. Got into drinking really bad. I finally came to terms I was an alcoholic, and that'd be one of the. Remember? Oh, right. Sorry. Uh, it was only a few months after. Well, maybe it's within the first year being out, and drinking really took over. And I remember being drunk and just notion just loaded up shotgun and racked one in the chamber. I knew I wouldn't do it. If I thought about it, I wouldn't do it. So I just did it. Racked one in the chamber, pulled the trigger. Safety was still on, so I came to. So that's the third attempt so far. But then, I had my son because I got married, divorced. But I had my son when we got married. He was a year old, got a job, and turned my life around for the better. Started drinking, and then a few years later, had my daughter, and life was going pretty good. And then me and their mother, she things happened between us, and she ended up just doing her own thing for a while. And I never, like I said, I've done cocaine, but nothing really more harder than that. Uh, but it was just me and the kids for a couple of years, and I knew why she left, uh, what she was doing, and at that time, I despised people who done drugs. I hated drugs. every kind. I yeah, I didn't fully understand, I guess, the what addiction was, and so I just a couple more years passed, and she finally came back in our lives, and but we split up again, and after that split up, my whole thought process changed because at first I hated drugs out there the whole time and hated people who done them, but then my mind flipped and I was kind of curious what causes people to like drugs so much to where they can leave somebody and just for years and cause so much pain to them. And seemed like it didn't bug them, but then I got curious, and that's when I tried meth, and it was like, oh yeah, that's it. So I got that's when my addiction started. It was about when I was 30, and then lost COVID hit in uh, 2020, lost my job, and that's when my 5 year addiction, which I'm very thankful that it wasn't like my whole life. It is short addiction, just 5 years, but yeah, it got pretty bad. I mean, it just got. I mean, it was bad as I guess any other person addicted to it. Uh, but I thought I was a functioning addict. It wasn't a problem. I didn't have a problem. That whole spiel. And but then I got arrested, a couple felony four, a couple felony sixes, and I got bailed out. And that's when they offered me a program called drug court, which I'm on now. But I was waiting, a few months for that. I had to do that, and I went. I remember one time I was drinking. It was a couple months before that, and I got real drunk, and it's the stress of doing being arrested and looking at 7 years of prison over my head and everything like that. I remember taking a razor blade, which I was pretty drunk, and again, just quick thought in my head, just to end it all. Took the razor blade, and I tried. I mean, I guess it was used. Well, no, it wasn't like a fresh razor blade, but I tried. I mean, I was drunk and mad. I mean, I was trying to cut deep in my wrist, and I was putting pressure into it, and I was bleeding, but just it wouldn't go deep, and like I couldn't explain it. Like this should have like went all the way through my arm. It felt like. I mean, it's a razor. It's in razor blade. It should, and it's just flesh, but it would not go through. And I remember getting mad and just throwing it against the wall. I couldn't even kill myself the way I wanted to. And another month went by, and then I got back into heavy drinking before the program again. And I remember I was out in the woods drinking again, and I've went even as far as trying to eating a hemlock plant, trying to poison myself to kill myself. Like I've tried so many times to kill myself, and I just cannot ever do it. And I guess the meaning for all of this is going back all the way to when I was a preteen, wherever. I never did believe in God. I mean, I went to Christian schools and church, but I just didn't really believe it. But then I started reading the Bible, and I couldn't. I thought I could disprove God in the Bible, but I couldn't. I mean, I kind of realized He was real, but then my whole life I just hated Him. Like I hated my life. I hated Him because He created me. Like I did not want to live. Like I spent my whole life more than anybody. I hate a lot of people, but just the amount of hate I had for God just for being alive was pretty a strong hatred. But yeah, then fast forward again. I started the drug court program, and then we had to go to recovery meetings and all that. And I remember going to Better Days, and that's what it kind of got me being clean and sober mind, it got me curious about God, seeing what all the miracles everyone's talking about in their lives and what God has done. So it kind of got me curious. And I remember there was a situation where I was scared to death on the program. And I remember lying on my bunk, and the first time, like actual good prayer to God, I prayed and that just to help me get through this issue. And I remember after I prayed that, I felt this enormous relief, like all over my body, just all my stress and everything just evaporated. And it was a calm I've never felt before. And I can only can explain it as amazing. I mean, that moment is what made me think, really know that God has to be real. I mean, that moment on. Um, but there was a little hiccup in my recovery. An incident happened where I had to go back to jail for 4 months, and I got kicked off the drug court program. So I'm looking at maybe 12 years now prison because of what happened. But instead of reverting back to forgetting about God and just blaming him, my faith in him got more stronger. I started being, even in jail, like I wholeheartedly thought I was going to prison for 12 years, never see my kids again. But my faith in him got stronger. I read Bible every day, daily bread, and I just really studied the Bible, and I was at peace going to prison, like really think I was going to prison, but at peace. But of course I still did pray that everything would somehow get turned around and come out in my favor. And I mean, lo and behold, my lawyer got a hold of me and said, they're dropping all the new charges, and they're going to let you go back on drug court and you have to restart. And it's little things like that I've noticed that God has done in my life. And I mean, I'll take that back. I have prayed, and that's what would make me disbelieve God. I prayed, but I didn't get no answers. And it's like, all right, yeah, he's not real. He can't be real. I prayed. I didn't get what I wanted. But once I really started praying for things so hardly with faith and belief, that's when I noticed that they would happen for me. And I've always wondered, and well, again, I get back on the program, the drug court program, and I start going to church more than recovery meetings, and it's my life has just been completely flipped around. Just the faith I have for God now. I mean, it's my heart. I was always under the belief that a man was supposed to be not show emotions, be tough, and I mean, my kids, they would joke, and people who know me joke, they always say I had one emotion, that was anger. That's my whole life. I couldn't control my emotions, and my emotions were always really strong, and they would make me act rational. But these last few months that I've really have accepted God and my faith, I mean, being on camera crying like that, like it's an emotional roller coaster. He's really has opened my heart up and just made my perspective on life. Like all the times I've tried to end my life, they never worked. And I know why now. I mean, because I couldn't explain some of the times that I should be dead. Everything I've done, it should have worked, but for some reason never did. And I mean, I know now. I mean, God has a purpose for me, and I mean that's why I love him so much now, because just he could have forgot about me and just let me go. But for somebody to save me as many times, to save somebody that hates you and despises you, but to still save their life, I don't know, I'll be honest, I don't know my purpose in life yet, but I know it's something good. I mean, for everything I've been through, all the suicide attempts, I mean, even in my addiction, I didn't get into it, but there's situations that should have took me out. And just everything happened to get me out of addiction. And I have no 5 years. I mean, I'll admit I loved my meth. I love getting high, but I have no cravings. I mean, this thing in the past, I can never imagine even doing that, going back to that. And it's all because of God. I mean, I get everything I give to Him because I know everything that I've been through in life and felt, if I can change all that and devote my life and to love God, I know anybody can. And that's where I'm at now, is just trying to become a better Christian in person and to serve Him better every day. And I mean, just admiring Jesus and trying it, that's my goal is to, I mean, Jesus, of course, perfect. No one will ever be like Him, but I strive to. And since it's just an amazing goal if you think about it, because you can never be that perfect, but for the rest of your life, every day, you can strive for that perfection. You have something to look forward to because you're never going to be that perfect, but you can keep going for it. And it just excites me for us. I mean, and then just knowing, just hopefully one day soon, I feel it soon, I will know my purpose and it will be for God. And this, that's excited to wait to see. That's where I'm at now in my life. So.